welcome RawKandi Sweets to Raw and Cooked Vegan.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
So great to see you. And I don't know if you've seen any of my videos, but the way I usually start these is simply to ask you how you were raised. What was your family's knowledge, if any, of diet, nutrition, fitness?
Mm-hmm. Well, I basically grew up with a family that was on the SAD diet, which is, the standard American diet.
Right.
My parents did have a garden. Many years growing up, we always had a garden in our backyard.
Uh-huh.
We grew corn and, oh my gosh, carrots, peas, zucchini. And I did not like zucchini as a kid. I love it now. But anyway, so we did have a lot of fresh vegetables available to us. A lot of the vegetables would get cooked.
Yeah.
So, and I'm very much into raw now. And
Yep.
so I, of course can see the benefits of eating fruits and vegetables in their raw, natural state.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to get into that more in depth. Can you tell me, now, did you grow up in Florida?
No, I grew up in Arizona.
Arizona, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I've been here in Florida for 3 years now. Actually, Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I
Okay.
on Valentine's Day in 2012.
All right.
Yes.
So how long would you say, like at what age did you start thinking, maybe I'm going to play around with my diet, maybe I'm going to do some things and not eat the SAD diet anymore?
Oh, wow. Well, I always tried to play around with my diet. My mom was actually a big dieter.
Okay, okay.
It might, hurt me for saying that, but anyway. But she was always dieting,
Was she doing that? Was she doing that to lose weight?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I look back and it's not like she was really overweight at any point in her life, but I don't know, just growing up in the 70s and the 80s, everybody was always on diets.
Yeah.
It seemed that way, and there was just so many different diets that I had tried, and each one I thought I was getting healthier. I thought, eating Slim Fast bars,
Yep.
take one with me to school and think, well, I'm just going to have a Slim Fast bar and some milk. And I'm going to be great because, that's low calories.
Right.
And then, things like switching to sweet and low instead of sugar. I thought that was just the healthiest choice,
Right. Right.
And diet sodas instead of regular sodas.
Yeah.
And, so I've always been on a health journey. I just was lost.
I'm glad you say that, Kandi, because I think that happens for a lot of Americans. They actually think they're doing something that's healthy, and it's really not. So, but
Right.
that's a great point. Great point.
Right. Yeah, so thank you. Well, and then of course, we're, as Americans especially, we're sold on switching to white meat instead of dark meat.
Right.
That was something I did for a long time as well. I really didn't eat a whole lot of red meat. I ate pork because that was the other white meat, and I ate a lot of chicken.
Yep.
And turkey.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that was healthy, but I don't know. I just come to a lot of realizations. I actually became vegetarian in 2001.
Okay.
So what happened was I was just so frustrated with all the dieting. I mean, my mom and I even went to Jenny Craig, and I had done after Jenny Craig, I had done the Atkins diet.
Yeah.
Because I just saw so many people, just losing weight, and
Sure.
I don't know. It's just, so I tried it, and I just got so sick to my stomach, just eating all that animal. I mean, I was frying bacon, I was eating a lot of cheese, and I can't even believe I was doing it. And eggs, and oh my gosh, it was crazy. But I thank God that I did that, because I got so disgusted. My body and my heart and my soul was just telling me something's wrong here. This is not right. And
Yeah, Kandi, how long did you do that paleo or Atkins diet for?
I did it for, gosh, probably a couple of weeks.
Okay, yeah.
It didn't last long, because I'm a very sensitive person anyways. I'm very intuitive, and
yeah,
just the animals were talking to me big time.
Yeah.
But I really needed to go through that part of the journey. It was really important for me.
Yeah.
What happened was I prayed. I prayed about it. I said, I need something where I can feel stable and healthy, and not have to worry about stomach aches and feeling terrible and tired, and I don't know. So I prayed, and then I got what I got was to go, what was said? To let go of meat. That's what I heard. I heard let go of meat.
Yep.
And to me, meat was beef. I thought meat was beef. I didn't know chicken was meat.
Right,
How
right.
dark I was. I really didn't understand, fish. I had no idea. So
Yeah.
So what was so odd is, when you really focus and put your thoughts out there to God and the universe, and and you're ready to do something wholeheartedly, people get presented into your life that can help you.
Yes.
And so what had happened was my son had his first sleepover, and the mother came over, and she said that, we're vegetarian. And yeah, and then she was telling me what he could eat and what he could not eat. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And so I really learned from her what being a vegetarian was all about. I had no idea. Like I said, I was on the Jenny Craig plan before I went to the Atkins. And with Jenny Craig, there's these menu plans, and they ask you what menu plan you want, and one of them was a vegetarian meal plan. And I was like, what is that? I mean, I don't know. I just really was so clueless. I didn't know what that was all about. I was like, how can people survive on not eating animals? I thought vegetarians were like a cult or something.
Yeah, I think that's common. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my God, it was just so weird. But so I talked with this mother of the friend, and she told me what to do, and I just got started right away. The only thing I did was, because I was so, I like I said, I thought beef was meat, not chicken.
Right.
So in my mind, I said, okay, well, she said, well, why don't you start with beef? Let go of beef, and then pork. She said pork also.
Right.
Yeah. And so I said, okay, I can do that. That's easy, because I still have chicken and fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I did for a whole year. And then when the year was almost over, I got that calling again. It's time. Time to let go of the other meat. And still I was stubborn. I said, okay, I'm gonna let go of the chicken and the turkey, but I'm gonna stick with fish, because you have that old programming, you need the protein.
Right.
And I thought, well, I really need the protein, and so that's what I did. So it only took about 6 months later, and the fish were talking to me. Seriously.
Yeah.
I had made a trip to Florida to visit my family, and I don't know, I think it was just being here near the water and all the fish. The fish were talking to me. I don't even know how to explain it. It was actually over a meal of sushi with my aunt and uncle. And they were saying, it's time to let us go. I'm like, okay. So when I got
Kandi,
home,
there's so many things here that I love about how you did this. I mean, one thing is you took your time. You kind of dropped a few things, and then you dropped a few more things, so it was a gradual process. So it'd be interesting to hear if you saw any health benefits for each time you dropped something. And then secondly, what I'm getting from you is it almost sounds like it's more of an ethical, spiritual motivation than, say, health. Or would you say it was more health or what?
I would have to say it was more health in the beginning.
Okay, yeah.
Like I said, I just had so many, diets that I had been on, trying to do something to feel better.
Yeah.
So I was very health motivated.
Gotcha. Okay.
To start.
All right. And
yeah.
that first year that you dropped the beef and the pork, did you notice any health benefits from that?
I felt a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt a lot better. I wasn't thriving, but I felt better.
Yeah. And were you still...
Go
ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I didn't have any health challenges as far as any diagnosis or any type of illness going on.
Yeah.
But I did feel better. I did have a little more energy, but still, I had not embraced being a vegan as of, just a few years ago.
Right.
And then that makes all the difference.
Now, when you dropped the beef and the pork, you were still eating like eggs and dairy, right? You're still eating cheese. Okay.
Yes, I was. Chicken.
And then after that first year, you dropped the chicken and turkey.
Yes.
And then 6 months later, you dropped the fish.
Yes.
So once you got all meat out, you were still having some dairy and eggs, right?
Yes, I was still having eggs.
Okay.
Because the whole protein thing.
All right. And once you got all the meat out of there, did you notice improvements?
Yes. I was able to actually lose weight, easier. I was able to maintain my weight easier.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. I was eating, it's funny because, you think you have to have things, like the veggie burgers and
yeah.
chicken nuggets and, so I did cling on to those for a while.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but, and I actually learned about the raw foods lifestyle back then as well. I kind of got a glimpse of it.
Yeah.
And when I heard it, it was just kind of through a grassroots kind of a thing, people getting together and talking about it. It made perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
It made it just was so like, yes, that's what I know in my heart to be true.
Very interesting, yeah.
But I didn't have any support at home. People thought I was crazy enough being vegetarian.
Right. Well, that's what I want to hear about from you too. So you made the transition to vegetarian, and describe for us the household. Did you, like, you're married now? Were you married at that time? And
I was in a long-term marriage.
Okay.
Yes.
And was your husband supportive, or like thinking this was a phase you were going through? Or?
Yes, of course. Well, he was supportive in the beginning, but then, because I think he thought it was a phase.
Yeah.
From the get-go. And then, 1 year led into another year, and, so many years later, I'm still, still doing it. But, he was back and forth. I mean, actually, when I had first met him, he was more vegetarian. He's Lebanese.
Okay,
so
yeah.
He's, with the Mediterranean diet,
Oh, love Middle Eastern food. Best food in the world. Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, and, he changed up a lot of his, he was the cook in the family. I never cooked.
Okay.
Which was awesome. I didn't mind cleaning. It was a good working program there.
Gotcha.
So, he made hummus and tabbouleh and, baba ganoush and, all those things are vegetarian.
Yeah, totally.
And vegan, actually.
So tell me, so after you gave up the fish, how long was it that you were vegetarian? And when people go vegetarian, there's often kind of a learning phase, and you learn how to cook a lot of grains and starches, and you kind of get more familiar with cooking vegetables and stuff. Was that the case for you?
Yes, yes. I want to ask you one quick question.
Sure.
Can you hear that noise that just came on?
Yeah, yes, I can.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to just move inside for
Okay, okay.
Yes, I did do a lot of grains, a lot of rice.
Yep.
Grain cereals.
Yep.
Let's see. Gosh, I'm trying to think.
No, it's great. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but
oh no, it's okay. I just got a little thrown off because I just wasn't expecting that to come on. But
no, that's fine. That's fine. So how would you say, like, a lot of people have issues with grains, and I eat a lot of grains. I still eat a lot of cooked food. So I'm kind of I'm supportive of raw fooders who find success through that, and I'm supportive of vegans who find success through cooked vegan food. And I want us all to work together to shift the broader public over to veganism.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting. It sounds like, at least for a time, the vegetarian approach worked for you, but I guess you still felt you weren't at your optimum. Is that accurate?
Right.
Okay.
You don't really know what optimum is until you've really tried to go 100% raw for a little bit. Like even if you just do it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You can see what's going on there.
Gotcha.
It's a journey, and honestly, I've been since 2013. I've been about 75 to 80% raw.
Okay.
This year, 2015, I've just made a recommitment to do. I really want to stay 95 to 100%.
Okay.
Just because I feel better.
Right.
And the more you eat raw, the more juice fasting and monofruit meals you do.
Yeah.
You find that it's actually more challenging to even incorporate the cooked vegan food. Your body just kind of adjusts.
Okay.
It gets used to the raw foods.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's so bizarre because I'll have like my husband now. He's from Colombia.
Okay.
That's rice and beans, and I absolutely love them. But I've noticed the more raw I do, the harder it is for me to eat the rice and beans.
They don't digest as well.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if this might at all be related to it. It seems that there's kind of an internal ecosystem in the body's digestive system, and it kind of gets acclimated to the diet, whether that be raw or cooked, and it starts to get used to that, and that may be somewhat related to what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people say what you're suggesting here is that they feel best on raw. It's their highest level of health they've ever had.
Oh, absolutely. The thing is, people that, when you are on this journey, and it's a total journey for everyone, I don't really know a whole lot of people that have just gone from the SAD diet into being raw, and they're just thriving and doing wonderful.
Right.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, but I think what happens is when they really do understand how raw can fully benefit their life, mind, body, spirit, total overall wellness, and they tap into that, and they feel so amazing that people get scared because, you just feel so like you can conquer the world. You just have that whole God force energy, and it is scary because people around you are not doing it, friends, family, people you run into at the grocery store, people you work with, they're not doing it. And you get, all of your senses get heightened. You get more intuitive, you smell better, you hear better, everything, all of your senses get heightened.
Yeah.
And when you're around people that are particularly still on the SAD diet, it's challenging because you feel for them so deeply, and you just want to help. You just want to help them, you know, and you have to be careful. Not everybody wants to be helped, and it's something I have to always remind myself of.
Yeah, this is a huge area. It's like discerning when it's best to talk about this, to share experience, and then also just dealing with the frustration of having relatives or friends who are dying sometimes, and they won't consider it as an option. Yeah.
Right.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about how long were you vegetarian, and then how long were you primarily cooked vegan?
I was vegetarian for 12 years.
Okay.
Yes, 12 years. And then I became a vegan in 2013, June of 2013.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually was, earlier that year, I was actually, I had an accident. I was running and I fell.
Huh.
And I tripped over cement. It was raised about this high.
Oh, man.
I hit it with my shoe and went flying, and my fingers actually, I broke these 2 fingers, and I've been through 2 surgeries, and even though it's been very challenging, it's been my biggest blessing. Biggest blessing.
Now, why do you say that? Why has it been a blessing?
Because I had downtime.
Aha, okay.
Yes, and I was able to be at home. Mm-hmm. I was able to fully immerse myself in research and reading and listening to YouTube, and you know, I just got fully into the raw way of living. As far as I didn't dive right in. Like I said, well, my accident was in January of 2013. It took till June for me to give it a try.
Okay. Yeah.
It took those months, but I was just I listened to Dr. Robert Morse. Are you familiar with him?
I am. Yep.
Okay. You know, he believes in. He's a doctor. He specializes in detoxification through mostly raw fruits, but through raw fruits and vegetables and herbs. And so I just listened to hours and hours and hours of him. And I have been listening to him for a few years prior.
Okay.
But I was just so busy with things, and I would just listen here and there, and I didn't really ever, I knew at one point in my life I wanted to be raw, but I had absolutely no idea how that was going to happen.
Yep.
Because I was so attached to food, so attached. And
well, yeah, these are deeply ingrained patterns, and as you say, I mean, so much of the culture is focused around them. So it raises a lot of challenges just to be raw in a primarily cooked food world. So
right.
Well, it's interesting. Now, tell me, from the moment you started doing this, so let's say, would it be accurate to say that you decided you wanted to move in a raw vegan direction, and you got a pretty high percentage of your diet raw? You still ate some cooked foods, like you're saying last year you still had about 20% of your diet cooked foods, is that right?
Well, actually, June of 2013, I went raw, and I did it about 95 to 100%.
Okay.
For almost 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I went through some detox, because I was drinking tea, and I let go of the tea. I didn't want to have any stimulants or anything.
Right.
Herbal tea is good, which I do now occasionally. But so I detoxed from that. I had, night sweats, body aches, headaches, the normal detox symptoms.
Now that's interesting because prior to doing this transition, you had been vegetarian?
Vegetarian.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. And what was your weight like at that time? Did you start losing weight?
Oh, when I went raw?
Yeah.
Yes, I lost weight. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I stayed, very close to 100% raw for almost 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went on a cruise with my new hubby. We went on a cruise, and OMG, that was difficult. I mean, there's so much. That was my first cruise, and they have so much food.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's
can't
like.
do that when I don't know. It was crazy.
Well, hey, I mean, we're all human, so I mean, but it's. I bet they had a lot of tropical fruit there too, right?
Yes, they did. They had a lot of fruit available, but I was not strong enough. I just was.
When you say that, Kandi, that you were not strong enough, what are some of the foods that you feel were? I mean, were you going back and eating steaks and filet mignon, or were you having like some rice with dinner, or what?
Yes, it switched over to being mostly cooked foods.
Well, yeah, but.
Rice and whatever. I mean, no, and of course I didn't have any animal products or meats. Although I did have some cheesecake.
Okay, yeah.
I did. I was like, oh, what am I doing here? But then I just told myself, you know what, and you know what, Paul? When I first went raw, I didn't embrace veganism. I thought that was still out there for me, even though I hadn't been eating animals for the longest time, for years.
Now that's interesting. What do you mean by that? You hadn't embraced veganism. So you were being raw, but you didn't equate it in your mind with veganism.
No.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, no. It's kind of like raw has its own kind of identity a little bit, so I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought. I mean, I just knew that going raw it just made sense for, regenerating your body, regenerating your mind.
Okay. In saying that, do you also mean that up until this point, you hadn't really thought about the ethical aspects of animal production? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I had, and when I would go shopping, even as a vegetarian, I would see the meat in the deli counter and just be like, gosh, I knew they were dead animals.
Right.
And I really did know that. The thing I didn't know is what these animals really have to go through just to produce milk, just to produce, so that we can have yogurt that we think is so healthy, and
right.
Just all the eggs, the chickens, and what they have to go through, and it's a nightmare. And what happened was I had been watching an interview with Ellen DeGeneres and Katie Couric.
Yep.
And she had mentioned that she was vegetarian for a long time. And then she watched the movie Earthlings. She forced herself to watch the movie Earthlings. And I'm like, I've got to watch that. So I looked it up, and it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
I haven't had the courage to watch it. I know what's in there, and I just don't want to see it. But yeah.
I needed to. Yeah. For me, I needed to. Otherwise, it wasn't going to sink in.
Yep.
Because I have seen Diet for a New America with Robbins.
John Robbins. Yeah.
Oh, that's on YouTube as well. Diet for a New America.
Yeah, he's great.
I've seen that many years ago, but I still didn't think about the dairy aspect. I don't know what I thought about that. I just didn't think too much about it.
Well, that's totally my experience too. I don't know. I was vegetarian for many, many years, like for 25 years, and I had just kind of thought in my mind, well, the vegan thing doesn't work. It's not nutritionally healthy. You need some kind of dairy products to get some of those nutrients. And I thought that way for like 25 years, so right. I can totally relate. Yeah.
Right. Yes. So I'm not sure where we were in our conversation.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's interesting. So you went for about 3 months, high raw, very high raw, and then you went on this cruise and you had a ball. And I'm glad that you're human, Kandi. You're human like the rest of us. So you ate some stuff that you wouldn't normally eat. Then when you got back from the cruise, what happened? Did you continue to incorporate more cooked foods than you had been? Was that it?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So then from that point on, I was about 75 to 80% raw.
See, to me, that's still huge. You know, I sometimes feel that when we're talking about like 100% raw and stuff like that, I feel like we're talking about a very small correction. You know, if you compare like what you're doing, 80% raw, 20 cooked, compared to like 90% of society, 95% of society, you're like so far ahead.
Yes.
You know, so my hat's off really to anybody that goes vegan. Anybody that goes vegan. And then after that, you can keep refining and getting more raw and getting healthier, you know. So
it's a journey. I mean, really, people would say that it's a journey, and I really didn't know what that meant until I started on the journey.
Yeah.
You know, and you just take it as, you take it in whatever steps you can do.
Now let me ask you, your current husband, does he still eat meat now? Well,
what happened was when we met, he was eating meat. He ate out. I mean, he ate a lot of. He said he would go to fast food restaurants. I've never even really seen him do that much. But anyway, yes, he would, and he would make beans and rice. He's from Colombia.
Yeah.
And he would put a bone, like a pork bone, in there. That's something they do.
Yeah.
And actually, when I first met him, the first handful of times, because when you're first dating, you don't really want to say too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had his rice and beans, even though there was a pork bone in there. I just looked really carefully and let him know I'm just searching to see that there's not a piece of meat in there.
Yeah. You know, Kandi, I like that you're saying this because, people can get really anal about this stuff, and I like that you were being social. You weren't going to make a huge deal out of it. You weren't, you went ahead, and it wasn't the end of the world. It's not like you had restarted having meat at every meal. It's like on a couple of occasions you compromised. I like the balance of that.
Okay, right. I know you're all into balance, Paul. I've tuned into your videos. Oh gosh. So anyway, that's kind of how it was for a while. And then I asked him. I said, and he had been. I had been making a lot of salads and a lot of fruit, and he was really enjoying that.
Yeah.
And so I asked him. I said, would you be open to making your beans without a piece of bone in there? And we said, well, sure, let me try. And from that day on, he's not ever put that in there.
Kandi, that's so beautiful the way you did that. It wasn't like, it does sound like it wasn't a fight. It wasn't like pushing. It was just like a gentle invitation, and then he took it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been good. Okay, so I do most of the cooking now, which is funny because I never cooked before. And I do a lot of, actually meal prepping, with raw foods.
Yeah.
I've learned how to do a lot of gourmet raw, with nuts and oils and things like that.
Yeah.
The healthiest, but oh boy, is it good. And he enjoys that. So about a month and a half ago, we went to see Dr. Will Tuttle.
Yes.
Do a talk. He wrote The World Peace Diet.
Yeah. Friends keep telling me I have not yet read that. I've really got to read that. And he sounds like a very interesting guy.
Yes.
So tell us about it.
Oh gosh, I really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. I just saw it was a meetup group, the vegetarians of Central Florida.
Uh-huh.
They posted they were going to have Dr. Will Tuttle in town and, come to see him. And he wrote the World Peace Diet. I did no research. I just felt guided to go. And I asked hubby if he wanted to go. And he's like, sure, okay. So we went. And we were just like, oh my gosh. It was like a huge wake-up call. What Dr. Will talks about is how he believes that it's going to be impossible to achieve world peace if we continue to eat animals.
Now that's a very interesting statement, and I've had other people say something like that. Can you break that down for us? Why is that the case?
Okay, well, animals are being treated so inhumanely, and he just talks about all of the things that happen to the animals, and I don't know, I try not to get too much into that. I want people to do their own research.
Yep. Would you say that when people are willing to treat animals in this horrible way, it makes it easier to treat other human beings horribly?
Bingo. That's the whole point. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you said it perfectly.
Okay.
As long as we are raping and torturing animals, and if you want to know what I mean by raping, just do the research.
Yep.
And the torturing, we have that within us to do that to other people.
Yeah.
And if we're eating the meat, it holds that energy. The animals hold that energy. Animals are sentient beings. They're sentient beings. There's people around the world. There's other cultures that eat dogs. They eat dogs and they eat monkeys. We would never think about eating dogs or monkeys. Because they're just so loving. They're so smart. They're intelligent. They feel. If you scold a dog, if you swat a dog, if you do anything, they jump, they yell, they scream, they don't like to be hurt.
Yeah.
And the same thing with cows, with pigs, with chickens, with lambs, with
Absolutely. So it sounds like your husband was affected by this as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has not had any meat. He bought the book right away. He was like the first one in line to buy the book. He's like, honey, come on. And he started going up there to get in line. I'm like, I'm not even out of my seat yet. He was, he was really like, it impacted him big time.
Wow, that's really cool. Now, tell us a little bit about some of your health experiences as you progressed in this heavily raw, high percentage raw diet.
Can we pause right here? I need to go get the cord.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick up.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.